It's at Byron Hospice on 950 Memorial Drive. It's every other Thursday. So next Thursday, I don't know the exact date on that. Let me get that for you real quick. But it's at 6 p.m. and it usually goes to about 7 to 7:30. Let me see. So it will be the 29th. So yeah, February 29th. This will be the third session. Like I said, 950 Memorial Drive, right across the street from the temple. They have a nice big blue sign, you know. So
every man's welcome.
Every man's welcome.
Age, all walks of life. Because this one's easy to edit. I just do all audio, and then it's easier. I'll have it up. And this is Roddy Radio, episode 16. And Roddy Radio is a podcast, a subsidiary of Roddy TV, podcast in English, because there was a big demand for it. And today, I have a very special guest host from Once a Project podcast. You guys may know him already. If you don't, welcome Brandon. How you doing, Brandon?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man.
Chilling.
It's been a minute since I seen you too.
I know.
Haven't seen you since we did that episode out in the foyer?
Yeah.
Was that last time I saw you? Like in October?
Yeah, my son was maybe a month old.
And he's 6 months now?
Yeah.
Fucking A. Time fucking flies.
Yeah, dude.
And we have a phenomenal guest, or at least he was promised to be phenomenal by Darlene and Fred Armstrong. They said they were part of your flock at one point. Went to the same church as you.
Yeah. Dang it, I didn't know you knew them.
I know Darlene from forever. We're from the same hometown, so we grew up in the same place. Yeah. And so she said, yeah, he'll be a phenomenal guest. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, now he's got to actually bring it.
I'm here. I showed up.
That's half the battle.
Yeah.
Shit. No, but yeah, he's just wanted to get into some topics with you because I know you've been through the ringer lately. The last year, I would say, right?
Yeah, the last year was a little rough. Suffered a lot of loss. You know, a lot of hurt, but I think I came into 24 stronger and better, ready to go.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the first thing I noticed was when you switched to single on Facebook, and I was like, I remember. Yeah. Because we used to work together, so people know we used to work together for a while. And I don't usually talk to people at work, you know, but you can kind of pick up on that. Do you guys talk to white people?
When I have to.
Yeah. I try not to either.
Yeah. You know, well, half of my family's white. So,
yeah, so you kind of have to there.
Yeah, so.
Do you talk to white people, Brandon?
I do, yeah.
Like even if you don't have to?
Yeah. No, I have buddies that are white, and you know,
really?
I talk to almost practically everyone.
You know, it's crazy. I think that like the older I get, like the more racist I get. Like fucking.
Sometimes it feels like
I used to not mind white people, but now I'm like, fuck these white people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I won't understand like what they're talking about necessarily or some of their references, you know, but I try to be nice.
So you try to play along. You just laugh when they laugh.
Yeah.
It really just depends where you're at. Like IF, it's a little rough.
Like if I'm at Reed's Dairy, bro, you know, I feel left out. You know, I feel like I don't belong there. You know, I feel like
as soon as you walk in, they're giving you the look. Like
so that's why I go to Baskin Robbins, dude. You know, it's not as good as.
Why are you just going all the ice cream places?
I've been to every single one, dude.
Why'd Reed's Dairy burn down though?
Oh, I don't know.
What happened there?
It burned down?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one on Broadway, like the main
soccer field.
The main one. Dang, you know that?
You know that? That was a few weeks ago. And but did you know the Reed's Dairy guy? Like he murdered a guy and he hit him.
No, I didn't know
This guy. If you guys ever get around, I have a friend who has a true crime podcast. So she did a whole episode on that shit.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't straight up say that he killed him, but it's like he just was working for the Reed's Dairy and then he just never went back home.
Oh shit.
He was like traveling through, needed a job, and so he's out there somewhere.
Yeah. I met a guy from what's that place in Africa called?
Egypt?
No, what's that flag that's like the green and white and green? You know what I'm talking about?
Kenya?
Yeah, a guy from Kenya.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Well, I'm a history junkie, bro. So I love Egyptian history.
So you know flags and shit like that? Like if you describe the flags?
I mean, Kenya's probably the most common besides Egypt in Africa. So
yeah.
Those bigger ones are a little bit easier to remember.
He was cool. His name was Tyson.
Oh, yeah?
He talked, very minimal English, but, we got a lot.
He had like the African accent? Like the
massive, dude. Big time.
I like that accent. Like that guy, that
That
meme, that why are you gay? That guy. Have you seen that video? The guy's
I haven't seen that
why
one.
are you gay?
No, dude, I was gonna tell you the funniest thing is that he would send me pictures of like goats and shit all the time from when he was working at the farm, and I was like, cool,
At the
dude.
Reed's Dairy?
Yeah, dude.
Why?
I don't know, just cause. And he would send me pictures of pigs and fucking cows and shit. I was like, that's cool, dude.
Do you think he was fucking him?
I don't know, bro.
They're wild over there, bro.
I don't know what type of beliefs they have over
People,
there. You
well,
know?
even that. I mean, just people like you don't realize how many people actually fuck farm animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm sure we got people here in IF that be doing that stuff. So.
There's crazy people out there for sure though. Like,
You would never fuck a farm animal.
nah, I'm good.
I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
I mean, I guess anything's possible.
I don't think I could perform under the circumstances. You know?
Yeah, bro.
Smells
I
and
think,
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that,
Scenery is a big deal, you know. So
yeah.
can't be out in the mud just wilding out like that. I can't do it. Like,
That's funny.
So anyway, the whole point of that was I don't really talk to anybody at work. I really keep to myself at work. And
I
I've been
remember.
there.
Yeah, I remember.
I've been there for almost 7 years now, and it's like, and the people I do talk to, like I don't talk to the white people.
At all?
I avoid it as much
When
as
I was
possible.
there was only one white dude.
There was back in the
And
day.
then
There was a
myself.
lot. There was a lot of white people from the center. We don't have
Yeah.
anybody from the work center anymore. There
Oh.
was the prison people, and then there was. Right now we have a lot of white people, and I avoid them. And I act like unless I absolutely have to. Like some of them know that I know English by now,
Okay.
but a lot. Like at first, I'm like I just don't know English.
Yeah.
I'm like sorry, man. And which is, I mean, it's my second language. I don't speak English very well. So, but anywho, so then this big, giant fucking Maui looking motherfucker starts working there. And then I don't know who came first, you or him. See you.
No,
he's your,
I was there first. 'Cause
he's
I
like your brother-in-law.
Yeah, because I got him on over there because he
Yeah.
was looking for a job at that moment. So
And so I was like, there's these dudes like I don't like. Can I talk to them? They're not white, but they're also not Mexican, so it like throws you off because here in Idaho we're so used to like it's either white or Mexican.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. So there's these OTM motherfuckers, and I'm like, but you know, you pick up the vibe and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
they're pretty cool, they're pretty chill. And so we'd work whenever we'd had to work together. It wasn't bad.
yeah, it
Get
wasn't
kicked
bad
back.
at all. Yeah,
It was usually what they usually have you doing, like.
just stacking, really,
Just
stacking or
stacking.
feeding. Yeah.
So I really would.
But then Jose moved me up onto the forklift, so I was on the forklift
Oh,
for like
that's
the last
right,
4
yeah.
months. Yeah, and I was just riding around with Luis and other homeboy. I forgot his name, but
The
it was
only
cool.
the only real time we ever worked together was when we had to clock in and do stupid little shit like that.
Yeah,
Like with like the table saw and stuff.
yeah,
like, where
I
you just sit there
I hated that shit.
and just
bro.
kills your brain cells because you just it's
Bored.
just busy work. Yeah, it's like there's nothing to it, but
breaking down pallets and stuff. Yeah,
when it's money, and so that's why I started talking to him because I was like, okay, well he's not
okay.
white, so I can talk to him.
So anyone that's not white but mixed, you can, you're good to talk to.
Yeah, and I mean I'll have to if I have to talk to the white people.
I mean, I get mistaken for a lot of different things. Like obviously, like a dark hair white boy, Mexican, Asian.
And what are you,
Samoan.
just like a light skinned black dude?
I'm half white, half black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
that's
what
what makes
side?
it confusing.
So my dad's white, my mom's black.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. Like, you couldn't pinpoint. Everybody thought CU was black, like black, and he's Samoan.
yeah, I mean, with Samoans, you can really tell like they're just naturally big.
That he's enormous.
They're always all inked up with tribal tats and stuff like that.
Like he got the
it's a
largest
different
gloves
type
we
of
had, and he
brown,
couldn't
too.
fit his fucking hands in it. It was crazy.
yeah, you couldn't.
And Jose called him King Kong, and I was like, God, you're absolutely insane. Like, why would you call him that?
Just fresh off the banana boat. Huh?
And I told CU, I was like, he calls you King Kong. You're okay with that? And he's like, well, it's not because I'm black. It's because he's just because I'm big. I was like, okay, buddy. That's why.
The thing
That's
is
why he
Jose,
calls you
yeah,
King
Jose's
Kong.
just as big, if not bigger.
Yeah, he's a big
Man,
man.
dude's like 6'5".
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Edgar's dad.
No shit.
Enormous dude. Like, you wouldn't think he was Mexican just based on his size. He's a
Yeah,
big dude.
he's a big
He
guy.
looks like fucking Bluto off of Popeye.
Uh huh.
You know, the,
Oh, okay.
Huh, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's a good dude, though.
Yeah, Jose's cool.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still working there.
Oh.
But you left. How long has it been since you left then?
So it's been about 4 years, bro.
Already?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling
been
you,
about
time
4
flies.
years.
It doesn't even feel like that much.
Nah, yeah, time flies, bro. So now I work over at CBI Off Road. It's a manufacturing company. We build like off-road armor for like trucks and SUVs and stuff.
Oh,
like.
I know where it's at. It's over by the freeway, right?
Yeah, by Dad's gas station. Yeah, so and they do like bike shops and like side by sides and stuff like that. But I'm the manager of the powder coating department over there. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then I work part time at Foot Locker.
Oh, cool.
Love shoes.
You love shoes and sports. There's some shoes right there. Look at those.
Yeah, I seen a little stack over there, bro.
Yeah.
You got none of my size though.
Probably not. What's your size?
10.5.
There's an 11 over there. They're not my shoes. There's somebody, this dude that sells them out of here. But
Oh, okay, cool.
But if you ever are looking for something, hit the dude up, and he might be able to hook you up.
What's his name?
Fuck, I know it, but I don't know. I don't remember it right now.
Because I'm always looking for shoes. I just bought a few pairs just like last night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Are you big on shoes? You're not big on shoes like that, Brandon?
No.
You just always wear those little boots?
I love my boots, dude. I picked up 2 brand new boots, and I
That's
just love
good.
wearing boots. I don't know. I think it's just I never really caught on to like I just don't think I look good with like,
Like basketball sneakers and shit?
Because I'm not tall, I'm fucking
yeah.
short, and they're high tops. It's like makes my foot look fucking small in it.
Yeah.
You look like a cartoon or something.
Yeah, dude. Plus, like his jeans are sick. So I could never pull those jeans off though.
Why? Because you're short also?
I'm short and have fucking fat thighs. Right now I've lost a little bit of
I mean, I have
muscle
fat
there,
thighs too. Your boy been squatting, so I'm starting to get caked up a little bit. So
Got that cake?
like these jeans are kind of tight now. So, but yeah, I mean, I have boots too. I have a few pairs of boots. Like I wear all kinds of different shoes. So.
About all I ever wear. I have a bunch of different shoes, and I always end up just wearing my Chucks.
They're comfortable. I have a few pairs, bro. Yeah.
I used to wear them to work, like when I first started, but then like they don't have any grip, like when you have to push out full
You're
units once you're
sliding.
done. I'm just fucking
Yeah.
I do like New Balance though. I've been getting into those lately.
Yeah.
Really, just because you have a kid. Going with the dad
Well,
shoes
yeah,
now that you have a kid.
The Monarchs.
I'm trying to grow up a little bit.
I'm gonna get me a pair of Monarchs.
Yeah.
Once I could get like a grill and stuff, I'm ready to go.
How many kids do you have, Robert?
So I have 3 boys.
3 boys.
Yeah. So I have 3 boys. I have an 11-year-old, excuse me, and a 6-year-old, and then a 4-year-old. He just turned 4 on Valentine's Day, so his birthday was just a few days ago.
Yeah, because I've seen you like
Wait, so how old are you?
ushering them around there.
I'm 31.
So-
I just turned 31 in January, so
What day?
23rd.
Oh shit! I turned the 9th.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That means you're both Aquarius. I'm just kidding. I don't.
No, I think he missed the deadline.
I think you're Aquarius.
I'm
like
Aquarius.
barely
I'm a
Aquarius. right?
Capricorn.
Yeah. So me and my youngest son are both Aquarius.
I only know Aquarius because my mom and my youngest brother are early February, so they're
Okay,
still
yeah,
Aquarius.
they're
Damn.
But that's about the extent of that I know.
How old were you when you had your first?
I was 19 when I had my first one.
Damn.
So he turns 12 in May. Yeah, so, and then we waited a while, and then we kind of had 2 quick ones later on. So so they're only like 2 years apart.
Yeah.
So.
That's gotta be nice though.
Yeah, they're best friends, bro. But that age gap from the first one to the other 2, he's kind of just a loner. So,
Yeah.
It happens.
Damn.
But he's a good big brother. He takes care of him and stuff, so it's pretty
You're looking to have another
good.
kid before the age gap gets too big, aren't you, Brandon?
Yeah, I think we're thinking 2 years, 2.5.
That's good. That's how my 2 oldest brothers are. They're only 2 years apart. Then the rest of, like me and my younger brother, you could tell we were accidents because it's like big gaps in between the last 2. It's like, it's like they thought they were done and they kept
That's how you tell, bro, the
Having-
gaps, I'm telling you.
like 2 years and then 6 years until I came along. Then 4 years until my youngest brother came along. It's like,
Damn.
okay.
So you
That's
just
hard.
have the one?
Yeah, I just had mine in August.
This guy's super young though.
So how old are you?
22.
22? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are super young.
I had him when he was 21 because I just turned 22. So
Okay. And you're married?
yeah,
Yeah, that's how the ring. Yeah, cool.
got married when I was dude?
Are you 19?
Yeah,
Well, that's when he had his kids.
I think when I was 19 and then I turned 20 and I was already married.
So
Yeah.
how long did you know her? Like, well, you had like high school sweethearts
Yeah,
and stuff
like I
that?
knew her from high school, but she wasn't my high school sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then after high school, I kind of, because I had already liked her already, and I already knew that I wanted to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
I just had to glow up a little bit. In high school, I was like just a lost kid, and so she didn't really pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And then after high school is when she like paid attention to me because I showed up and I was like all
Because you were a
polite
little
and
bit
shit.
more
mature,
more
and
on your
grown.
shit.
Yeah,
A little bit thicker,
a
probably.
little bit thicker. Yeah. No,
Did you look like a little were you a tiny kid in high school? Because you're,
Well, I was 4'3" in 6th grade.
but we're like size wise. Because I'm not tall, but like that's the difference. Like on the video podcast, I've had people say like, "Oh, I hadn't realized you're as short as you are." Like, because I'm not skinny. Like, when short people are skinny, they look small.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I'm like, when you're not skinny, like, and you're just sitting down, like, you can't tell you're short until you stand up, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah, no, I was always pretty, like, I wouldn't say buff, but, like, I was never
were
really
fairly built.
skinny.
Like stocky.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
stocky, and I wrestled and everything, so, you know, I really,
His wife's
That's
pretty cool.
sports.
They have a podcast together, him and his
Oh,
wife.
okay.
yeah.
So what do you guys talk about on that?
Well,
Just like parenting stuff and relationship?
No, not really. I mean, we shit talk a lot between each
bullshit.
other, and
Yeah.
but then sometimes we'll get serious. Sometimes we'll talk about marriage. I think it just depends. We have guests on there, so
Okay, cool.
She talks mad shit on him. I like. That's why I like. She's funny.
Yeah.
yeah.
She comes with the jokes, but she's too good. I've been trying to get her on the Spanish podcast because she's funny, but she never wants to come because she's too cool for school, I guess.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
shout out to Jackie.
Shout out to my wife. I can't do anything there, bro. I put
So
my word in.
does she listen to this one though?
I don't know. Well, she probably will because Brandon's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she only listens to the ones you're on.
She'll be
That
like,
makes
what,
sense.
what is that fool talking about?
Better not be talking about me.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, it's hard though having kids nowadays because like things are so expensive, and you know, like the government makes it so much harder for young parents to receive help, even if you're not, you know, like even if you have a good job, if you don't have a great job, you know, they'll even make it hard for you. So it's
Having a job,
lot.
period, makes it difficult. You don't qualify for anything.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
reading for like Medicaid and all, dude. It's like you have to earn $1,300 a month, and I was like, who the fuck lives off $1,300
Yeah.
a month, dude? When you have to pay
that's crazy.
rent, bills, gas, all that stuff, and on top feed your family and yourself.
I mean, just rent alone is
About that 1,300, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's crazy. When we had our first one, we qualified for food stamps for 3 months while my wife was on leave.
Mm-hmm.
And when she started working, we stopped qualifying, which we were fine with. We were like, I think that's how you should use these type of benefits, anyways. Like we use the help, so it's like those 3 months, those food stamps,
in
we just
those
bought meat
phases.
pretty much.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So I
when she got
noticed-
back to work, we didn't need it anyway. So.
Yeah, I noticed it got worse, like the how strict they are after COVID and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like
yeah.
that. Just recovering from that, you know, it's just everything just is super tight
Yeah.
and like high price. So.
Now they ask for everything, dude. They don't even ask like now they ask for pay stubs from 3-4 months ago. It's like, damn, dude, you're counting what I was earning 4 months ago. What if I'm not earning that much now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Oh, yeah.
they're so strict now with everything, but
That's what I hate. And like where we used to work, where I still work, it's like, you know, sometimes some paychecks are a lot smaller, and then there'll be that really good paycheck,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm
There's
like,
no
no
consistency,
I'm like,
bro.
I would lose that pay stub. The one that
Yeah.
came out a little
Yeah.
extra, I was like, yeah, I don't know where that
Like
one
you
is.
never know what your paycheck's gonna be.
I would take
Can't
in
budget.
the smallest pay stubs, be like, this is what I usually make, like $900. And
damn.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I want to
make it
ask
up.
you got divorced a year ago, right? You
Yeah.
said. So how has life changed for you?
So are you asking me how single life is? Because I can tell you right now, single life is
Sure.
horrible for one. But you know, a lot has changed because going through that process of separating and moving out and being away from, you know, the family, I was also suffering a lot of different things going on. So I felt like it was heavy all year long, and it was just very overwhelming and frustrating. But now that we're coming out on the greener side of it, life's good. You know, I'm starting to really focus on like my goals and what I want to do in life, and I'm focusing on the boys and my relationship with them. So things have been looking up, but I'm still struggling with a few things. So it's just all about adjusting, man. It's really just all about just moving forward and keep pushing. So
Yeah, I feel like that must be hard because you were with her for 13 years. You said
yeah, it was
So it's
13
like-
years. Yeah.
a decade, you know, of just living, adapting,
Just
and all
adapting to something different for once.
I felt like, so when we first split up, I felt like I was learning how to be an adult again.
Yeah.
I was learning, I had to teach myself how to cook, you know, like not necessarily clean, but like clean, like decently. And I was like, because I was always half-assing shit because she would
Just
just.
she'd pick up the whatever. The
Yeah,
slack.
so like I just felt like a little kid again, bro. Like I felt like I just got out of high school. Like it was definitely like an adjustment period there for the first few months, but
Yeah.
and then just learning to be alone. You
And
know?
when did that come about when you got divorced? I remember I saw you guys at the company Christmas party. You guys all seemed
Yeah.
in good spirits. So I
So-
don't know how long. Did you get along very well until the end, or was it a thing that was already brewing?
It was brewing for a while. it was just a lot of inconsistencies with the relationship, and then kind of just took its toll after a while.
Yeah.
So ultimately, she decided like, hey, this is what I want to do. So I just moved out, left her the crib, and and then we've just been trying to make it work at co-parenting. And I can tell you one thing with co-parenting is it's very difficult in some cases, so just learning how to, I guess, just adjust to her and her needs and what she wants for the boys and stuff, and then what I want can be a little annoying.
If it doesn't match up, that's exactly where I'm at with that.
Yeah, sometimes when it doesn't match up, man, it could cause a lot of like just anger and resentment toward each other,
A lot
so
of issues.
yeah,
And I think that's the ones who suffer the most. They're the boys. Or the children, I should say, in general. Because they're the ones who are like probably don't really understand kind of why. Maybe one parent wants your kid to do one thing, and then the other parent's like, "No, I want you to do this." And it's like, okay, who do I listen to?
Yeah.
So my oldest, he struggled with it. My two youngest ones, they're like, "Oh, we got two of everything. Like, this is great." They don't know what's going on. But my oldest, he struggled a little bit with it, and he's starting to come around. He's starting to understand how it works. So, we're just trying to
see the way I saw it with my older one. She understands it a lot more because she saw all the stuff that happened before and all the violence, all the shit. She went through all that shit with me, so she knows. So she understands why things have to be the way they are. She's the one that told me, she to get a divorce, and so, but she did struggle because she was so used to the way we were living from the time she was born until she was 7 years old. And the younger one, she's only 2 years old. So it's like, I remember having one of the mediators when we were going through the divorce saying, it's that 50-50 schedule you guys are on is no good for that little baby. And I'm like, the baby doesn't know any, like, she's used to it by now. Like, so this is her life. Like, to her, she doesn't remember a time when it wasn't this way. So she's super adjusted.
Sorry to cut you off.
Just to see each other more often in between, like, while it was each other's turns to let them see the other parent. And we were like, well, we're 50-50, so it's like we weren't too big a need. Like, I call them every day anyway. And stuff, so
how does that work? 50? Do you have 50-50 too?
Yeah, so I have 50-50.
So how does that work?
We switch off every Sunday. So basically every Sunday I'll get the boys and I'll keep them for a whole week.
Oh, okay.
But some of the scheduling, like with her work schedule, my work schedule, we both see the boys every day.
Yeah.
Because she goes and gets them and takes them to school from my house.
Okay.
And then I pick them up, or they'll go to school and I'll drop like my youngest one off from daycare. I'll pick them up from daycare and drop them off at her crib. So we see our kids every day,
which is good. Yeah. And that's what they were suggesting with us a lot. And we were 50-50 until the divorce was finalized, and they pretty much hosed me over. And now I only get them every other weekend, and then a short visit on Wednesdays. And I was still being able to like see them whenever I wanted to. I would tell her, hey, if you guys ain't doing shit, I'm going to take them out to dinner or stuff like that. But then some stupid shit happened, and now she's like, no, because it's my time. You can only see them on your time. So it's just stupid shit like that. Yeah, and there's not much I can do about it. It's like, well, that's what the fucking court decided, so that's what I have to abide by, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, the favoritism for a woman or a mother, I guess, it's pretty rough for a father to deal with, especially when you're going through the courts like that. Fortunately for me, like she's been pretty cool about that. She hasn't done anything like that, so. Plus, she wants that alone time, too. So that helps a little bit. Like, she wants her time to herself, not have to worry about these wild boys running around. So
Yeah. I feel like it's always better when, like, the parents can come to an agreement instead of letting a court decide. But obviously, it's hard for that to be accomplished.
That's what, I mean, that's what they kept telling us. It's like, if you can avoid trial, it's going to be a lot less expensive for you. And this, but I knew... Like, I'm like, we cannot see eye to eye on a single goddamn thing. Yeah. So
it definitely takes some compromising from both of you, know, to even take that first step. So let alone that longevity of it. Like, yeah, bro, you need like someone that's willing to communicate, willing to compromise, willing to sacrifice. And we've both done it a little bit, but we have our moments still. I mean, it's a tough situation.
Where you hang up and hate each other for simmer for a while. Yeah. Well, that's so that was about a year ago. Then you said.
Yeah, that was about a year ago. I think it was last.
You guys divorced now, like finalized? Or?
We're done. So
that's good.
We're just kind of focusing on like dialing in on the co-parenting relationship with the boys, and so that's really it. And then like we have our own personal stuff, so
Yeah.
you know.
And so that's like hit number 1. Hit number 2, what happened? You've lost some family recently.
Yeah, so we split up in April, and then in May I lost my grandma. She passed away due to heart problems, and then shortly after that my dad passed away, and then my brother, which was recently, which was in December.
That's
my
the
little
most
brother.
recently.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So they say death comes in threes, and so I
hopefully
never
that's
believed
just,
it
so
until
hopefully
it
it's
happened
just
to
those
me.
3. Yeah, you start seeing different examples of
Yeah,
that.
you know, I was like, nah, that ain't true, and then boom, you know. So, but yeah, so yeah,
So hopefully you're
so really I took 4 losses in a sense.
yeah,
you know, so
yeah, your marriage and then your 3 family members.
Yeah.
And so all that, I mean, how have you been coping with that? Tell us about that.
So really, man, like it took a while. Like I got into therapy and stuff like that after my dad passed, and so just dealing with that, you know, and then trying to just lean on family, trying to reconnect with them a little bit more, and spending more time with the boys. But I was still having a rough time, so that's when I started like coaching, started getting into coaching a little bit more, because I was coaching for a few years now, but
Yeah.
and just trying to find stuff to be active in. Like I was going to the gym, got the second job at Foot Locker, you know, just trying to like stay busy to keep my mind off things. And then sure enough, around Christmas time, my brother passed. So after that, like I just kind of went to a dark place. I was probably down bad for like a few weeks, probably about 3 weeks.
Down bad. You're drinking and shit like that?
Yeah, I was drinking a little bit. No, not a little bit. I was drinking a lot. But you know, what happened really is like my dad, like he was such this alpha leader that like when like crisis hits or tragic hits the family, he kind of just took control of that. So, you know, when he passed and then my brother passed, I felt like I had to kind of take that role, you know. So I felt like I didn't have time to grieve him through the process of the funeral and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
once the funeral was over, that's when I kind of just like went into like that
When you're able to
isolation, dark
reflect and
mode.
kind of sinks in, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a bad few weeks right there. And then, so I got a video from him, watched the video, heartbreaking video. And that's ultimately what pushed me to start the men's group.
What was in the video?
Just him saying goodbye and stuff.
Okay.
You know, he talked for about 6 minutes, and
Had he been ill then? That's where he was able to say goodbye, or is that something he just had ready to go?
he from the looks of it, he planned it all out. So,
Okay.
so he kind of just, you know, said his words, his thoughts. You know, say goodbye, I love you, like look after my kids, like da. And then, yeah, the video just cut off after that.
Damn.
Jesus.
So it was rough, man. It was definitely rough, but it was definitely eye-opening. Like, family, you really got to stay close to your family, because it's like through that whole process, that's all I had was my family to lean on, you know? So, and at the time, there was a few people I wasn't even really close with, and then we reconnected.
Yeah.
Now we're getting closer, you know? So
Sometimes that's what it takes for people to get together, some sort of tragedy, some sort of negative thing.
yeah. And it sucks that it has to get to that point where it takes for you to reconnect with someone, but
Yeah.
it happens, yeah.
So, do you mind if I ask what he passed from?
He committed suicide.
Oh wow.
And so that's why I started the men's group. It was really based off him. Sorry,
Yeah.
I feel like. It was based off him. I just kind of wanted to find a place for men to come and kind of just let loose, vent a little bit.
And hopefully prevent another one of those things. Huh?
You know?
Yeah.
And then just be aware, you know?
Yeah.
Not just with themselves, but with their family. You know? And
Have you ever had any thoughts, any suicidal thoughts?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Have you ever, you know, and I'm asking this for a purpose, have you ever had a plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever had a plan?
Yeah.
I have.
Isn't that did you guys know it's not normal to have a plan? I recently learned this, like, with somebody, and I said, "Oh yeah, well I have a plan," and they're like, "You're not supposed to have a plan. What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going to do it. Like, I haven't thought about it in years. I'm like, but there's a plan in place in case." And so I think we just get into that place where sometimes it even gets a little normalized in our own head, where it's like, "Oh well, here's the plan." But
I think
you shouldn't even have a plan. There shouldn't even be a plan.
No, yeah. I mean, really, when it comes down to like a plan, from my experience, is just like the place and how you're gonna do it. That's basic. Like, and then everything else just kind of you just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate to get into that place and you're sitting there and you're deciding whether this is what I'm gonna do or not. But yeah.
But I think that to get to the place where you do plan, time and a place like you said, I think you'll start noticing that you don't feel like yourself before you actually get to that date. But then when that day comes, it's like, oh shit, who am I?
Like you kind of remember who you are.
Yeah, you lose track of who you are as a person. So I think you get, there's like that track that follows. So I don't know if this is too much to ask, or you can just let me know. But in that video that your dad, that you saw, did you see your dad, or were you like, that's...
Oh no, so the video was of my brother.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
So my dad, he passed away from heart problems. He was sick for a while.
Okay.
So
sorry, I got that confused.
Yeah,
bro.
no, you're good. But yeah, so he was in a car when he did it, and so he was just basically making some quick videos for some of the family members or whatever. And no, man, like you could just see the pain in his eyes. You could see he was crying. Like he's obviously probably been drinking or something, because he was slurring a little bit. But yeah, you could just see the hurt and emotions that he was going through, and that's what makes it so heartbreaking, Yeah. So
yeah. No, I asked because when I had planned, for me to commit suicide in a sense, like I just remember, I think it was 2 days before I was talking on the phone with Jackie, and I just fucking broke down, dude. It was after a day I was coming home from the gym, and I stayed in the truck, and I just broke down, because I felt so lost, and I wonder if that's how people feel, like if other people who do commit suicide feel before they actually, But luckily I just said I'm just gonna call her, and I called her, and then she kind of was there. But
did you tell her where you were at, or like what you were thinking, or were you just calling her just to?
No, I didn't tell her.
Well, did you keep it pretty normal on the conversation?
Yeah, because I had planned it to do it after she went to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So she was in Mexico, and I was gonna do it 2 days after she left. So when I called her, essentially it was just for me to have my last conversation with her. But
not necessarily to say goodbye or anything.
Yeah, it was just a regular conversation that I was having with her, but
in your mind, you knew, like, at that moment, you're like, this is going to be the last of it.
one.
Yeah.
So can I ask you what was some events that led up to that point?
Yeah.
Where you were really, like, thinking about doing it,
I just, my parents had gone through a divorce.
Okay.
So that hit me hard, not in the sense of them splitting, but unfortunately, maybe fortunately, a lot of the responsibilities fell on me, like taking care of my brothers and whatnot, and I was kind of the grown man in the house, and I was very young, so growing up like that, I also felt like I lost sense of purpose for my life. Like I just didn't know where I was going.
So you lost a sense of purpose and got added pressure on you, basically.
Yeah, and then I was getting out of high school, so a lot of my friends were going to college, starting their lives, and I was just kind of like, well, fuck, what am I supposed to do now? So I was just in a dark hole, mentally completely dark hole, and I was going to therapy, and I didn't tell my therapist until a week before, and then she's the one who was like, dude, that's not good,
So are you still in therapy?
No, I stopped going about 2 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I think therapy can sometimes, it's good, but I think sometimes you just go because it's a safety net.
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't want to build that safety net based on a person. I wanted to build that safety net based on me and trust myself. Yeah.
So you kind of got the skills you needed from therapy to be able to live on.
Yeah, and I figured out really what was like the real damaging part in my core, and I was like, okay, now that I know that that's there, now I can actually work from here,
Yeah.
Whereas back then I was like, okay, but I feel okay about my parents divorcing. Why am I still feeling like shit? Why am I still sad about, this and that? I didn't really understand it. And then, as I worked through therapy towards the end of the years, then I figured it out.
Yeah. So like, I feel like once a person goes through it, like even if they don't follow through with it, they learn a lot from that, and they learn a lot about themselves. Even though they're still trying to figure out who they are, they learn like some of, I guess, a coping mechanism to kind of avoid getting to that spot again. Because I know that happened to me.
Yeah, 100%.
And with therapy is more for me. It was more for just like grieving counseling. So, you know, just trying to get over some of the loss and stuff like that.
You started therapy after your father died, or after your brother died?
After your father, yeah. So,
was your brother doing anything like that to cope? Because I'm assuming, I don't know why it was he decided to do it, but I'm assuming none of that helped, the deaths in the family. So,
you know, he was dealing with a lot of stuff because he's been married twice. So he was married the second time when he did it, and then he had his ex that he had 3 kids with. And so he just got out of jail. You know, he lost his job and stuff like that. So I think it was just all of it at once.
Just piled on.
It just piled on and overwhelmed him, you know. And so he struggled for a few months. He tried to get out of it, it seemed like. He tried to get over that hump, and he just couldn't. So he just, you know, ultimately decided to do what he thought was the right thing for himself.
Best way out.
You know, so... but I guess, like, when you go through it, you just don't realize, you just don't realize what you're leaving behind.
Yeah,
the pieces you're leaving behind, you know, and the pain that you cause.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what ultimately helped me decide not to do it.
That's what I was gonna say. That's like what stopped me. Is like I'll be fine, but what about everybody else?
Exactly.
My kids, my nieces, my brothers, my mother.
Yeah. And you just, you know, if you have a conscience, you just don't want to break their hearts. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, you find the little bit of strength you have left to just say, no, I'm not going to do this. So
yeah. No, and that's what I thought about too. I think, you know, aside from my wife, like kind of talking to me that night, mostly my mom. I think just thinking about my mom because, you know, my therapist, when I told her about it, she's like, imagine if you would have done it, like all the hard work your mom has put, you know, to get you out of where you were at, and
to just end it now,
just to end it like that.
And
that hit me hard.
Goals,
You know, like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and in a way, for me, it was always like I almost felt almost like tooting my own horn. Like I felt heroic. Like, oh well, I'll keep on suffering because
I'll keep on sacrificing
as long as these guys don't feel it. Then I'm fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you need. You need that feeling to keep you pushing, keep you moving forward. You know.
Yeah.
So
how long after did you start the men's group?
So it took a minute. So we had the funeral, I think it was on the 3rd of January. So it was this year. And then a few weeks after that is when I received the video. So I had my first session not last Thursday, or 2 Thursdays ago. So, no, February 1st, sorry. February 1st was my first session. And so it was
so how many are you in, like 3 in?
No, I'm 2 in.
2 in?
Yeah, I just had my...
Third one will be this Thursday?
Next Thursday. So I'm doing it every other Thursday. Yeah.
So what does it consist of? Like what happens? You know, like if I was to go, let's say.
Yeah. So the first session was more of an introduction. I just kind of went over like what it's about or what I'm trying to accomplish, and you know some of the goals I had in mind and stuff like that. Excuse me. Sorry, I ate right before I came. So my bad. And I'm bulking, so I'm eating like a bunch of food. So. So the second session, we kind of just dove in. You know, I kind of wrote down some writing points, asked them a few questions, see if the guys would engage, which some of them did, you know. So it was good. But basically, we just kind of sit there and we just kind of talk about, you know, some of the stresses that are in our lives personally, you know, and how we cope with that. And every guy is going through something similar, you know, so they have different ways of coping. Give other guys ideas and stuff like that. So it's still early, so it's like still trying to figure it out, but it's been good. It's been good.
Have you had a pretty good turnout, or?
Yeah. I had a pretty good turnout. The last one, it kind of died down. You know, I felt like the first one, you know, was kind of riding momentum. Everyone was supporting it, and so a lot of people showed up, but the second one, it kind of died down, which is great, you know, like, because I feel like those smaller groups, you could kind of get more, like...
focused.
They're more intimate.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of guys are a lot more comfortable talking instead of talking in front of, like, 20, 30 people, you know, so it was good. It was a good session, so we'll see how the third one goes.
Yeah. What's something that you, like, notice that's very similar between the guys that you're like, oh, okay...
So a lot of the guys there, obviously one of the biggest stresses, and this is something I actually researched, is one of the biggest stresses to a man is a woman in some sort, whether it's their mom, sister, wife, baby mama, girlfriend, whatever the case is, it's a woman. And it's the same thing for women. Their number one stress is men. You know, so one
Shit.
thing.
I was about to make a joke.
Let's hear the
Well,
joke.
make it.
I was like, what about the transgender shit? What's their stress?
Yeah, I don't.
It's just having a significant other.
Just basically a partner,
someone
whatever
else.
the case is, relationship wise. But that's one thing that a lot of them are dealing with: pressure of providing financially and stuff like that. Being the breadwinner of their family can add a lot of like stress, especially in today's world where everything is so expensive. But the job economy is just not catching up with it. So you got that, and then you just got just like a lot of basic stuff, like a lot of things that you don't even think about. Like work, self-esteem with like your appearance or your health or whatever. Just things like that. So a lot of similar stuff.
I think that I don't know. I feel like nowadays men. I feel like now more than ever, men are. Yes, we tend to be more open, but I think there's almost a incentive to be weak in a sense when it comes down to those stresses. And I think a lot of men, instead of like saying, "Hey, I'm going to pull myself out of this," and be who I'm supposed to be, they kind of use that as a victimization, point for themselves. And I see that a lot with like younger men, especially, and I see it sometimes with older people. But sometimes I'm like, man, wouldn't you feel great if you could just say, you know what, I'm gonna pull myself out of this shit instead of being the victim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas back then, I don't think men had the choice to be, victims. They kind of just had to swallow it up and say, I'm gonna.
Yeah, that stigma, man, has been around for so long since the beginning of time. So. Yeah, we're trying to kill thousands of years of, this standard that men have in this world, so it's a process for sure. And it's going to take, and
there's a lot of factors. Cause that brings me to like, just the capitalist economy that keeps us at work way too long. Cause back in the day when a man could provide for his family just off of 1 40-hour a week job and just the man working, but the man had bowling alleys, the man had poker games with his friends, he had all these things that he could do after where he would socialize with other men, and maybe they weren't talking about their feelings, but they were getting stuff off their chest one way or another. And now it's like a lot of that stuff has gone away because we're so busy grinding and working, because if we don't, we ain't getting fucking rent paid. Well,
and not only that, but I think success has been just exploded, over the past 10 years. That's like, if you are a regular man or female, doesn't really matter, but you're earning less than 100K, it's like, who are you? And it's like, hey, I'm just trying to get by also.
Painting the happiness to where you have to be
you have to be at a certain level.
Which is crazy, bro, because I know people that make less than 50K a year, and they seem way more happier with their life than people that make over 100K. So you always just got those people that look down, and then you got those people that are looking up, and it kind of just always collides.
It's like the grass is greener all the time.
Yeah. So it really just depends on the person and how they're built, but yeah, it's rough out there.
For sure. And with social media added onto it,
where you're looking at someone else.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at how great someone else is doing.
Think about it. I mean, there's a secret war going on between men and women right now.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but it's all over social media. You see all the memes. You see all the memes and stuff that, like, women are talking down on men or men are talking down on women. I see it all every day, so that's why I'm always trying to post something motivating, because it's like,
And it's weird because what I see is a lot of men hating on women, and then vice versa, women hating on men. It's like, hey, like, what's the real point of this? Like, I was listening to this guy's podcast the other day. I wasn't listening; it was just a clip. But he's calling. I'm a believer of like, you do what you want to do, just as long as it doesn't harm me or my family.
Doesn't affect me.
We're good,
Yeah.
But so this girl is like an OnlyFans model or whatnot. And then the guy was like, "You're a fucking whore," this and that. I'm like, whoa, like, what if she comes from a living where she was poor and just was caressing, luxurious things, and this was her way out? Hey, and if she's making enough money to where she's paying for her bills and her family's bills, and her family's better because of what she's doing, what makes it right for you to call her a whore?
Yeah.
You know, just because he may not, she's not under your standards, you know.
Yeah.
But and vice versa. It's like sometimes the women, like, you know, if a man is like an alpha man, you know, and you know, you're just a man and whatnot. The woman is like, you're misogynistic, you're this and that. It's like, hey.
And I've seen videos, bro. I've seen videos of people interviewing girls, and they're like, "Oh, if he don't make over 100K, he ain't
that
shit."
shit, yeah.
Like,
And it's like, hey,
do you make over 100K? Like,
Unless
Exactly.
you do, you can't.
unless you're
talk
doing
shit, yeah.
OnlyFans, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, like,
And that's the
I
thing.
always,
And like that with sex workers, OnlyFans stuff. It's like we all do terrible things for money. Like I wake up at 5 a.m. every fucking day.
yeah, it
for
just
money.
depends how you look
It's
at
like,
it.
yeah, the way I look at it is like that's fucking terrible.
and it's
It
not like you
is.
want to.
If I could take a picture of my ass and make the money I made today for working all goddamn day, like I do,
I mean,
would
if
do
I could
it.
just like start an OnlyFans with just like my stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like that, bro. You know, I'll do it, but
yeah.
I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when it comes down to it, bro, like you can never knock someone's hustle, and that's the way I've always been. I'll never
Yeah.
knock anyone's hustle. Like whatever is gonna feed you and your family, and you think it's the best way, like do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
And I
all
think-
for that. So
And you might not have to agree with what they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
Like for me, for example, I'm like more on the conservative side. So you know, OnlyFans models, they can do whatever they want, right? But to me, I may look at it at a different point of view than they are.
like you ain't gonna be with an OnlyFans model,
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
and that's okay.
and that's fine. But hey, I'm not gonna.
But you're not gonna call them names.
Yeah, I'm not
in
gonna be like
public.
you're fucking whore, dude. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, I was just trying to earn some money for me and my family, you know. But I would like the same respect, vice versa, where you know. He's not earning 100K, so fuck him. It's like, hey, dude, I'm trying to build my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't sell my dick pics, so
And the thing is, everyone's entitled to their standards
Yeah.
and their opinion. So whatever, you know, they like, that's on them. You know, so if they like a guy that makes 100, 200K a year, great.
It's great.
Go find
Hunt
one, you know?
them down. Find them, yeah.
But don't talk like
But don't talk shit about
piggyback
Yeah,
on
me.
you.
don't-
Like,
yeah.
don't talk down on other people that are still trying to do their thing,
Yeah.
just in a different way.
and I do think that social media has played a huge part in making it seem like it's always a fight, you know.
Yeah.
Where maybe you do talk to someone. I've never talked to any of like that type of person or any of those people at all. But if you do, I'm pretty sure that most likely they're
just
good
normal
people,
people.
normal people just working their way, in their
And,
life.
and everybody talks about the problems with social media like that, but I'm like social media should just be that, just to keep social. Like I keep in touch with like you,
Yeah.
with people like that. Like you're telling me you've been at the same job since you left where I work, and it's like it's just you got to keep those connections. Like if I get fired or if I decide to quit, I'm like I might hit you up and be
Yeah,
like, hey, you guys
exactly,
hiring,
bro.
stuff like that. That's the kind of networking you should be doing with social media, and not this
Yeah.
criticism of each other's way of life and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like I try to use it more for that, like just
Yeah.
pretty much a network of people that you're gonna know.
Yeah. And then and the thing that's crazy too, like it's on the other side of it. Like I met some of the coolest people that will be sharing like the most like hateful memes or saying the most hateful shit. And
Yeah.
they're not like that in person. So it can be deceiving.
It's like they just
in a
think
sense.
it's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
and so they
you know
share
what I'm
it.
saying? But
So,
at the
so
end
they
of the
don't
day,
even realize what the fuck they're sharing sometimes.
but at the end of the day, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, like that silent war. Like it's coming in a form of careless jokes like men ain't shit, women ain't shit,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And people are like, oh, laughing about it, but
But
a lot
there's
of
also
times
a lot
there's
of people that are taking it a little too serious.
yeah,
and,
or there's some truth
and
behind
it's like
the person that's posting it, you know?
and even they always say there's always
So-
truth behind every joke. There's some
and it will
some
never
truth,
stop.
yeah.
Bro.
Yeah,
It'll never
that's what it is.
stop. So it's unfortunate, and I feel like that's a big factor in today's society
Mm-hmm.
with men and their mental health, because now, whatever's happening behind closed doors is just coming to light. It's just coming, like I said, it's just coming in a different form,
Yeah.
And so now, added pressure to show up as a man,
But I do think it's the person's responsibility to know when, to understand themselves and how they
Yeah.
they act with social media. Like you said, you have a pretty clear understanding that you use it for social networking.
Yeah.
And for me, I recently just got off social media, so I just deleted all the apps because I was like, you know what, I'm investing too much time into it and not getting anything out of it aside from fucking reels.
Yeah.
So I knew that my mental health was going down because of that, but I was self-aware. So I was like, hey, I'm going to push this off for a couple months. And so I think it's everyone's responsibility, when to
keep
take a
yourself in
joke.
check and
And
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in the first man's group, that's kind of what I brought up. One of the biggest words I use is accountability. Like you have, as a man or any person, even a woman, you have to take accountability for your life and the way you feel and the way you're letting people make you feel. Accountability, it goes down to that with the social media thing. Like if you feel like that's something that's controlling your life or controlling your emotions in some way, you gotta take accountability of that. You gotta take responsibility and like act on it. Like if it's really bugging you or if it's really bringing you down, like you said, delete it, you know.
Because I was I on mine, like it's always either funny shit or like motivational reels, and a bunch of motivational reels just started popping up, dude. But I didn't realize this, but it was making me feel like shit. Because I didn't have the fucking jet or the Lambo or the fucking money in the bank, you know. So I was like, and all these guys, you know, talking about, you know, if you're not making $100K a year, you're not a fucking man. If you're not this, you blah 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 blah. I'm like, damn, I'm all listening. Like,
they
you
can
know,
backfire
I'm like,
sometimes.
I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, you know, I agree with this. Next thing I know, dude, I'm at work all sad and shit because I'm a fucking, you know, on my knees painting, and I'm like, man, you know, what am I doing?
Yeah, it gets like that. Yeah, and then like the whole keep your your circle should be doing this and this. I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I just talk to the same old drunk people and gay homeless people and shit. Like they're all my friends. I'm not gonna change them just because you think I should. Like, like, you know, you keep your circle to whoever the fuck you want to keep it to.
Exactly,
and your success or failure is not depending on your circle. I don't think that.
No, yeah, and I agree. Like, and that's why, like, in the men's group, you'll see it's a lot of different types of personalities of men. You know what I'm saying? But one of the goals was to bring these men together and to make friends that they can lean on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys are either alone or they're just so like locked up into their family and stuff that they have no social life. And this is just another way to kind of just bring them together. Maybe someone will click.
Yeah.
And then next, you know, you see them outside of the group, like, oh, you guys kick it?
Chilling,
Okay, yeah.
Social life is big. That's why when we first split up, my ex-wife and I, you know, was living out with my own, and we were still doing 50-50. You know, I had already started the podcast before, the Spanish podcast, but I was actually thinking about just not doing it anymore. But, you know, I ended up starting it back up and starting doing it. Like the weeks I didn't have my kids, I would do it. You know, we'd be filming 2-3 times a week. And my mom was like, I'm glad you're doing something. She's like, 'cause you're just chilling at the house, just sitting there all depressed in your room all night. And you know, I met you, I met a lot of different people, and you know, the friendships like that. And now it's like, even though we're not podcasting, I still have like people to lean on now. It's just like, I just built something from after 9 years of not really socializing to where I was used to, because I've always been a very social person. And, you know, those 9 years of being with her, not hardly ever going out, it's like, it was hard to get back out there and like being my own self again and having friends all over the place. And so this definitely helped build that. And so I feel like I'm in a real comfortable place now where like there's always someone to kick it with now.
Yeah, that adjustment's hard. I totally get what you're talking about. Like it took a moment. And then so like you find yourself, and so when you're in a dark place like that and you're kind of feeling lonely, your standards drop. So now you find yourself kicking it with people that
you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, you normally wouldn't because of what they're doing or how they're handling themselves. Or you find yourself in situations like down at the bar, or, you know, around people that are just wilding out. Your standards drop because of the loneliness or the desperation of trying to reconnect or trying to connect with somebody. You know, it's a real thing, you know, it is. So I went through that phase. Got out of it pretty quick. That's so good, man. Yeah, 'cause
some people wallow in that phase.
Yeah, man. So, you know,
can't come back.
Plus, small town, everyone's all in your business and stuff.
Yeah,
You just always try to kind of stay away from all that.
Yeah. And we're all guilty of it. When I saw your thing said single one day, when I first noticed it, it was like, fuck, like what the fuck happened? Like you start wondering, and you're like, yeah. And some people start digging. I was just like, I'll see him someday and ask him, but
yeah. But and then stuff like that, that's fine. But like, I don't know. I mean, I think you know what I'm talking about, but
but that's what I'm saying. I'd rather like run into you and ask you what the fuck happened than like sit there and dig and be sneaky about it, you know.
You know, you got like someone like, oh, someone's asking questions about you. Like, I've got messages like that.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of that over the past year.
And then they'll name the person. I'm like, I never know who that is. You know, so.
Well, I heard that it was actually because of this and this. I'm like,
whatever. I don't know, but whatever. So.
Yeah, we're about reaching the end of the show. We've been ending this show, and this might be inappropriate just where you've been through so much, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've been ending the English podcast, Rowdy Radio, with a final question for the guests. And you can answer it too, even though you're not really a guest. You're a host. You're a guest host. Yep. Yeah. I knew this was right up your alley. That's why I'm like, hey, come by.
No, it interested me because
really good questions like that.
Yeah, because it's I think especially like you said in a small town, when you're doing something out of the norm, which is not going to work at the INL or opening up a construction business, people look at you weird and they're like, what are you doing? You know. So when I found out that that you had this men's group, I was like, that's interesting, and I'm glad that someone's doing something about it, because I do feel like
there's a need.
There's a need.
So.
And before you ask your question, I kind of just want to go over a few more things about the group.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So the group, some of the things I have planned in the future. Right now, I'm working on a nonprofit foundation that's going to support men's mental health. I'm hoping down the road I could start a women's group as well. I'm looking for the right leader to kind of run that, and obviously keep that separated from the men's group. But I also want to reach that, and then starting like a young kids program as well, trying to reach them at a younger age.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of plans. I also got a few boys that want to do a podcast, like a more consistent podcast than like the one and dones that I've done before. So and they kind of wanted me to run the show. I don't know if I'll be a good host, but something like that would be pretty cool. These are just some of the things that I've been working on for the men's group. Kind of get activities outside too, whether it's barbecues, sporting events, stuff like that. So
Fun shit like that, huh?
Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of support on it, man, and it's definitely starting to slowly take off. So, and I hope it just continues. So, yeah.
Yeah, and working to get the nonprofit, the NPO status is.
Yeah, and it's a process.
It's a process.
It's
I've had
I didn't
friends
realize
go through that shit. It's quite a process, but once you get there,
yeah. So, and then I know a lot of people from like coaching and working and stuff like that. I know a lot of like high end people, high valued people, I guess you would call them, that are willing to help out with that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that'd be fun. I feel like I'm excited to see what comes, dude.
Yeah, man. Like, and there's actually another men's group. I forgot what it's called. It's been going on for a while, but I'm actually gonna stop in on one of the sessions and check it out too. It's here in town.
Ideas, help each other out.
Yeah, what I'm saying, just see what that one's about. I want to support that too. So I'm just gonna try to find ways to support these men in any way I possibly can. So.
And you have my support whenever if you guys ever need to come on the show or record anything separate from a podcast, anything, I'm always down to help with that kind of stuff.
I appreciate that, bro.
So keep that in mind.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so, but the question when you got married, did you have bridesmaids and groomsmen and all that shit?
No.
No,
we didn't have a wedding.
To pick that. Oh, you didn't have a big wedding like that.
Yeah.
Because some people think it's hard to choose bridesmaids or groomsmen. But at least you get to choose them. But after you pass, you don't get to choose what possibly might be more important is your pallbearers. If you died today, who would your pallbearers be tomorrow?
So 6 of them, probably 2 of my little brothers. So Marcus and James, or not Marcus, sorry, he's the one that Patrick and James, and then my brother-in-law Corey, my best friend Chris, and then how many is that for? And then my brother-in-law Jake. And then probably my oldest son, Jace. Yeah. So, I'm not a heavy guy, so I think 6 could hold me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who the fuck is going to carry CU?
Man, I don't. All his sisters and stuff, like, man, they're about the same size. Yeah, they big. His family big, so they don't need a whole lot. But yeah, man, I mean, that boy 300 pounds. So
shout out to the boys.
I hope they don't ask me.
And you see, you don't realize how big someone is until he would pick. Like I said, he would ask for the largest gloves they had, like 3XL, and they just could not fit his hand in it.
Oh hell no!
Oh yeah, man. Like the way he used to pick up those 2x4s, he would grab like 6 at a time.
Looked like he was picking up popsicle sticks, man.
Like I can only grab 2. I'm all shaking and struggling. Yeah, man. He's a big boy and he's a good dude.
He is. He's a really good dude. Do you want to answer the pallbearer question, Ben?
Dude, I can't think of some. I can answer it actually. I'd have my brother-in-law Luis. I'd have 2 of my best friends, Tracy and then Leo. I'd have a really good mentor of mine named Javier, and then I need 2 more, huh? Or 1 more. 2?
1 more, I think. It's kind of on my fingers.
Well, I need, dude. 4 will get me, dude. So
I was gonna say you're short. You might only need like 4.
So how tall are you right now?
5'5" on a good day with boots.
What about you? How tall are you?
5'5" if I stand up straight, but I'm a G, so I never stand up straight.
Yeah, so you got that slack. Okay.
So I'm like 5'3" with the lean.
When you're sipping on the drink,
that purple drink. No, I'm just kidding. None of that. I just drink alcohol, a lot of it. You don't drink anymore, Brandon?
No, dude.
When was the last time you drank?
Well, I did drink Saturday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but I drink really sporadically. Like, how do you say it?
Sporadically.
Yeah, like I'll drink once every 3 months, 4 months.
See, with me, like, man, like I became a very conservative drinker for like the last like probably like month or two. Like I'll have a beer or two, but like I'll just like cut myself off eventually. I'm like, nah, man, like I already feel myself like getting there. So I just been a lot more conservative. I still drink, but not to the point where I'm like stupid drunk or whatever.
Yeah, and you just got to be responsible about stuff. Like I've come to the point where I'm not necessarily cut back on the drinking, but I've definitely cut back on the driving.
Oh yeah,
Because the driving is what gets you a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
And that's just another reason why, I just been so conservative about it. It's just being in certain areas, driving, being around certain audience and stuff like that. You just learn. I guess you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's get out of here. I just want you to give us the information, everything, the ins and outs of the men's group. I'm going to play this at the front of the episode also, just so people can get that info right away.
Yeah. So it's at Byron Hospice on 950 Memorial Drive. It's every other Thursday. So next Thursday, I don't know the exact date on that. Let me get that for you real quick. But it's at 6 p.m. and it usually goes to about 7 to 7:30. Let me see. So it will be the 29th. So yeah, February 29th. This will be the third session. Like I said, 950 Memorial Drive, right across the street from the temple. They have a nice big blue sign, So
every man's welcome.
Every man's
all age,
welcome.
all walks of life. Because when you're across a temple or even the slightest having to do with any type of church, I think some dudes might think you have to be of a certain faith. Anybody's welcome. Any man.
Welcome. Like I said, if you show up to the group, you'll see that there's all different types of men there. When I originally started the group, I was actually going to use my mom's church. But then I started thinking, like, a lot of these men might not be as religious or religious at all. Would they feel comfortable opening up about dark stuff in a church?
In a church.
Ultimately, I decided, no, I don't think that's the right spot. So luckily, one of my boys, one of my dudes I know, Corey, he owns the building, and he helped me out. I've known him for a long time. Great guy. And he helped me out with the spot.
That's awesome. Nice.
So, and he actually has been to both groups. He sits through it. So I think he's getting something out of it too. It's great.
I love when people let you use their spot for stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of letting me use this spot. So.
It just goes back to what I said, bro. The support's just been crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really satisfying and motivating overall. Like, it just kind of keeps me going. Because there's been times I've been discouraged. Like, I'm like, no, man, like, I don't know if I'm the right dude to do this, da-da-da. But, when you get people that are just like in your corner constantly and they're just telling you like you're doing the right thing, just keep going.
You're a stand-up dude, man. Like that's definitely why I started actually talking to someone that wasn't a Mexican at work, because something you got the leadership skills. I think you got this. You just got this, and you're gonna keep it going, and have faith in that. And
sometimes
you're
pain,
doing a lot of good with that.
Sometimes pain and hurt, bro, will push you to change into someone you never thought you could be.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's a very positive thing. It really is. It's enlightening. So, I'm just gonna run with it and continue to ride it out. So I appreciate you having me on here.
Hell yeah! Just whenever you want to come back, man. You're an awesome speaker. I knew you were an awesome speaker.
I can talk, and I was a little nervous at first, but
you get into it. And that's the thing. Like, what you were saying, and this goes out to anybody that wants to be on the show. Let me know, because a lot of times I'm like, who the hell am I going to ask on the show, and I can't come up with people. And the thing is, pretty much every podcast I've been on, with maybe the exception of yours, Brandon, is like I reach out to them and let them know that I'm interested, and that's what gets you in. So if you have anything to peddle, anything to come on to the show for, come on and just let me know, and we'll get you on.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, I think you lived up to the name of phenomenal guest. So I really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
Hopefully you keep coming.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, invite me whenever, because I can talk about anything. So
hell yeah, man.
I'd love to
keep that in
talk.
mind.
Yeah, I'd love to talk.
And thank you, Brandon, for being here, for helping out with this one.
Likewise, bro. Yeah, dude. I love coming and conversating with you. Sometimes we have a conversation to talk about, though, but we'll do it on my show, dude.
Oh, yeah? You got something in mind?
With the little beef we had.
Oh, our beef between shows?
Yeah, but we won't say nothing here, because we'll talk about it on mine, then we'll
because he wants the views, he wants the listeners.
Yeah, that's what it is. So go watch out that red if you haven't, and you'll see some of that where Oscar and I challenge these guys to a wrestling match, and that's actually why I ended up having to buy my skull over there because Oscar put it in a headlock, and then they claimed it was broken, so I ended up having to pay for the whole skeleton. The whole skeleton's out there's mine now because of that. But that's a story for another time. Go check out Once a Project podcast. Go to the men's group if you need to. And this was Roddy Radio episode 16, and we'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.
See ya.